Hi, this is Evan and Michael for Programming in C++, and this is our game we made. So we made a text-based Dungeons & Dragons game, and I'm going to quickly go over my contributions before handing it over to my partner for him to explain his. So we can see here at the top, this is the base class I made for the characters, just with some variables for their name, health, strength, dexterity, and constitution, which are the stats. You can also see the constructor for this below that, as well as some getter function for each one, as well as a virtual method to display the stats when needed. Below that, we also see the declaration of the ranged and melee character classes, which inherit from the base character class, just defining some more specific stats for each specific class. Below that, we have a loop that I set up just to quickly help the player at the beginning of the game determine which class they're choosing. So it pops up some text saying before your adventure begins, you must choose one of the classes. And then a simple if statement there to just check which is which, as well as a break to make sure they entered one of the appropriate correct inputs. And then based on which one they entered, it picks one of the classes, displays the stats, and then adds certain items to the inventory depending on which class they chose. And now I will hand it over to my partner.
Okay, my first part that I made was the inventory manager. I just kept it as a private vector string here, a dynamic array basically for strings, with a few different functions here that are run throughout the game, which like add item, where you just input a string, it will add it in to the array or the vector, and it will just push it back. I didn't really see a need to make it super complicated since we can just call from the strings, and we also have the next function, which is has item, which will just check for and for the entire vector for a certain item by a string. So this will work together pretty cleanly. Then we have delete item. So if there's an item that throughout the game you'll either lose or destroyed or whatever happens, we can call a delete function. It will search the entire vector for the item and delete it. And if it's not in there, then it will be not found in inventory. Then the show inventory will run that if it will just simply display all the items you have in your inventory. This is used a few times throughout the game just to show like an update on what happened with the player's inventory so they can keep track. Um, Basic dice roll function, nothing super complicated. Further down in the story manager, I wrote the actual story bits here. Nothing too overly complicated. I just use a bunch of our different functions from throughout the game. So at the beginning, for example, I'll run through the game, but just as an overview, you can choose between fighting the beast in the woods by investigating it or protecting the village. And you'll just get different outcomes based on whatever happens. It will change what's in your inventory. Maybe you'll use a healing potion depending on your choices, and you just get another few options throughout. And that's kind of the main part of what I did. I will now run the game. I should say here begins the story of our hero, which allows you to enter your name. I'll just put Evan, for example. Welcome to a world full of fantasy and adventure. Before you begin your adventure, you must choose either the ranger or melee class. I'll go with the melee class. Those are my stats. It says I'll add a sword, a shield, and a healing potion to my inventory. I arrive at a village in distress. A wild beast terrorizes the locals. Do I investigate the woods or protect the village? If I don't enter one or two, pretty solid. Let's say I enter seven. Invalid input. It will make me have to pick a certain one or two. So let's say I want to protect the village. I roll the dice, roll the four. So I stand defend the village. The beast attacks suddenly. You and the villagers struggle, but eventually drive it away. So if I rolled higher there, like if I got the random higher roll, we wouldn't have had to struggle there. Do I want to use my potion to help the hurt villagers? Sure, I'll use that. I use my healing potion on the villagers, and they thank me by giving me 100 gold. Where I remove the healing potion from my inventory, and I have 100 gold. So now my inventory consists of my sword, my shield, and 100 gold. And now I go into the next story bit. You arrive at a crossroads with multiple signs, where I can follow the sign to the mines, follow the sign to a bridge, or follow to the forest bakery. Let's go to the mines. I find a torch outside the mine and pick it up to help explore the mines. Adding a torch to my inventory. Now I rolled the dice, roll a 4, so I got pretty unlucky again. The mine collapses, I barely escape, and I lose my torch. and now the adventure ends, and it shows me what I achieved and what I ended with. So I ended off with the sword, shield, and 100 gold. You can run this however many times you want in many different ways. So I'll just go with Evan again. I'll just skip through this part, melee. So now maybe instead I want to investigate the woods. I rolled 3 4s. That's comical. The beast ambushes me. I fight bravely, but I escape very hurt. But by distraction, let the villagers escape. But I guess I have to use the potion to heal myself. So now my inventory only consists of a sword and a shield. And maybe this time I'll go to the forest. No, you know what? I'm gonna go to the bridge. And then I stumble upon a broken bridge under repair, and I decide to help the crew. I add in repair tools to inventory, rolling a dice. I roll that is 4 4s. In testing, that's not how it worked. It is random, I swear. The repair, I fall, and the repair fails. I accidentally fall into the river, losing the tools, and I lose the tools. And then it ends, and saying I only have the sword and the shield in my inventory. There are a few different options that will happen, and it will change the result of the game. I think looking back on our game here, something that I think both Michael and I have learned is that right now it's all in one CPP. It's very bulky and heavy. We definitely could have added the inventory and the class manager into a header file and had a lot more time, easier time calling everything out, and it would have looked a lot cleaner and probably run better, since it wouldn't have to be scrolling through a million different things. But it works, and I think that's the main part for this. But I think we also learned a valuable tool for the next time we work on something like this.